Morning, welcome to JoyNews Desk. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to air. Coming up this morning, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin laments the loss of seasoned MPs in Parliament, calling it a big blow to business in the House.
We had lost 28 MPs earlier last year. We lost 17. It's not a good signal for the legislature and for Ghana's democratic development.
More as Parliament resumes with significant changes in terms of how business is conducted in the House. Also this morning, workers of the Ghana Water Company threatened to cut water supply to some parts of Bawku due to the volatile situation there. We have details as the Ghana Water Company says the action is to protect their workers who are at risk of being attacked. Plus, this morning, the Ghana Journalists Association is calling on Ghana Police Service to arrest Member of Parliament for Yendi, Farouk Mahama, following an assault on City News' Northern Regional Correspondent.
The MPP and the Dampari-led Ghana Police Service 10 days. They should arrest the perpetrators. If they fail, we shall advise ourselves accordingly.
Plus, as Dr. Baumia prepares to address Ghanaians later today, we will find out what will be a satisfactory message to Ghanaians. We have expert views on this for you. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Let's stay for details. Workers of the Ghana Water Company Limited are threatening to cut water supply to some parts of Bawku due to the volatile situation there. According to the company, the action is to protect their workers who are at risk of being attacked. The company has also been lamenting the cost of repairing the equipment when they get destroyed due to conflict. Upper East Regional Correspondent Albert Sori joins us via Zoom with more on the situation. Albert, what's the current situation in Bawku?
Yes, Aisha. So, as you rightly said, because of the volatile nature of the security in Bawku, we understand that the Ghana Water Company management there actually temporarily suspended their operations in the area for about a week. Since last week, residents say that they haven't had water run through their taps. We checked this information with the municipal management of the Ghana Water Company, and this came to, they confirmed that they had actually taken that decision because of the safety of their workers. You remember in the past also there have been other companies which, had to suspend their operations in Bawku because of similar reasons. And so this was what exactly happened. So what is happening now is that the Regional Security Council, led by the Regional Minister and the Municipal Chief Executive, have stepped in. And we understand that hopefully today they should be able to resolve the issue for workers of the company to return to work this afternoon.
Now, the Ghana Water Company is hinting of cutting water supplies to some parts of the area because, of course, for the fear of their lives. Do you get a sense that some people are still under risk of being attacked?
Yes, so what is happening is that because of the location of certain companies and certain organizations in the Bawku municipality, sometimes their workers can get caught up in the middle of shooting. Sometimes even stray bullets, we understand, can hit someone or can hit the buildings in which these people are working. One example is one of the banks last year which had to suspend their operations temporarily. Even the National Health Insurance Authority had similar complaints last year, and SNIT as well. And so this is not something new. The Ghana Water Company and the complaints they are giving only adds up to the number of organizations and service providers who have had to either suspend their operations temporarily or completely altogether because of the security nature of the place. But on this particular issue of the Ghana Water Company Limited, our understanding now is that the issue is being resolved, and hopefully by the end of today, they should be, they should be able to continue with their work in the Bawku municipality for people to have, water supply.
Albert, sorry, is our Upper East Regional correspondent. Definitely will monitor this thing he's talking about, trying to solve the problem between the Ghana Water Company and the situation on the ground, and we'll bring you more as it unfolds. Now, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin is lamenting the major casualties recorded in the NPP parliamentary primaries. 28 sitting NPP MPs couldn't secure their seats, whilst 19 of them announced their retirement from the House. Parliament returned on Tuesday with significant changes in terms of how business will be conducted in the legislature. The Finance Committee has been split into 3 separate committees, while MPs are now required to recite the national pledge once a week. In his welcome address to MPs, Speaker Alban Bagbin expressed worry over the 45 MPs who lost their primaries and those who are voluntarily exiting, adding the nation must reflect on the huge investments made in those MPs who will be exiting the House. Parliamentary correspondent Kukwa Sante has the rest of the story.
Month on break, MPs are back in the House to do business, but there are now significant changes to how business will be done on the floor of the House. Starting from this meeting, MPs will be required to recite the national pledge once every week. That is at the start of the week, and today, MPs had to recite that pledge.
Congratulations. Honorable members, congratulations. Honorable members.
Also, at the start of every particular sitting, there will be a roll call of MPs. And MPs will be required to stand in their seat and be recognized. That is part of the measures the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, is taking to ensure that there is maximum attendance in the House. Today, of course, there was some confusion in terms of how exactly that process will pan out. This is how it all went down on the floor.
Asensu Boachi Francis, Esiama Isaac Kwame.
You indicated that when your name is called, when the roll is being called and your name is mentioned, we should respond and not stand and wave. So if you could guide us, do we stand and respond, present, Mr. Speaker?
If you later come and you sign, you'll be recorded as having been present. But the biggest essence is accounting to the public, which all of us are supposed to. So if at the beginning of the day, Muntaka is called and is not there, what I simply tell as one people is that he is perpetual latecomer into the chamber.
But with MPs back now to do some really good business, they could not gloss over the important matter of the number of NPP MPs who have been defeated in the just ended primaries. 28 of them lost their primaries, with about 18 also signaling their intention not to return. That is about 46 NPP MPs that will not be returning to Parliament in 2025, as well as some NDC MPs who also lost their primaries and those who have decided to bow out. The Speaker of Parliament first worded it in terms of how this attrition will affect Parliament.
We woke up one Saturday, and by the evening, we had lost 28 MPs through the primaries of the New Patriotic Party. Earlier last year, we lost 17 MPs through the primaries of the NDC, National Democratic Congress. It's not a good signal for the legislature and for Ghana's democratic development.
We also caught up with the NDC Deputy Minority Whip, Ahmed Ibrahim, who spoke about how there was an alleged scheme at the office of the president to oust some NPP MPs.
The number that we're going to lose were 30. That was the estimation from my calculation, if you remember. So you could see that the last house was after them. And we knew once the big house is after you, there's no way you are going to contest, you are going to make it. So clearly you could see that the system was ready to ask some of the people out. And I'm not surprised. The number, our estimation, it was 30.
We also heard then from the majority leader, H.A. Mensah Bonsu, who spoke about political parties and what they must do to their internal rules to ensure that certain MPs, especially those with so much experience, are protected.
It is unfortunate to relate that Ghana's parliament now is in the league of only 3 parliaments in the world which have the highest attrition rates globally. And this is not helping the growth and development of our democracy. I've often made appeals to the 2 leading political parties in the country, the New Patriotic Party, which is my own party, and the National Democratic Congress, to introspect on their respective constitutions.
So, a number of key changes now in Parliament. For instance, the all-powerful Finance Committee has been broken down into 3. The Finance Committee, the Committee on Planning, the Committee on the Economy, also the Appointments Committee will still be chaired by the Deputy Speaker, but of course, they will co-opt members of other committees depending on the work that they are going to be doing. In the coming weeks and in the coming days, we'll be rolling out a series of the changes that are now embodied in the new standing orders of the House. Reporting for JoyNews, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
Well, let's have a conversation on the changes in Parliament. Kweku Asante is our correspondent in Parliament. He is joining us with a list of changes, and Samuel Bing will also join us. Let's start with you, Kweku Asante. Run us through the changes that has been affected.
So, Aisha, like you heard there at the end of the report, a few of the major changes have to do with how the committees are composed in the House. So, for instance, a number of the committees used to have 20, 25 members. When what we are seeing now, the ceiling of most of these committees will be 13. In fact, the Appointment Committee used to be, I think, 22. It will now be made up of 13 MPs. That is the first Deputy Speaker chairing, and then the leadership on both sides of the House, and then co-opting members from other places. So, for instance, if the Appointment Committee meets over judges, then they will get some members from the Judiciary Committee to come and join them to vet those judges. If they have to vet, say, the Minister for Education, they will co-opt members from the Education Committee to join them to do that. Those are the changes that have come in, and it is to reflect on how things are done in the advanced democracies like the US, for instance, where the Judiciary Committee will vet judges, the Committee on Health will vet appointment to the Health Ministry and other places. These are the modern times the Parliament of Ghana wants to go to. There used to be the Defense and Interior Committee charged with looking at the defense of the country, the Interior Ministry, the National Security Ministry, and all that. That is also no more because it has been whittled down, and now we have a new committee on the Committee of Intelligence. Again, those who follow international politics, not in the US, we have the Committee on Intelligence who deal with the national security situation of the country. So we are going to have that also in the Parliament of Ghana. The Finance Committee, very powerful Finance Committee that used to deal with matters of finance, taxes, everything related to finance and economy always went to the Finance Committee of the House. But that is set to change because the Finance Committee has been broken down into 3. The Finance Committee itself will still stay, but of course the responsibilities will now be reduced. There will be a committee on the economy to look at the economic issues that will come before the House, and then there will be a committee on planning to reflect Parliament's position on the need for the country to stick to a development plan going forward. And of course, some of the minor changes that have also come up, also quite significant, is that MPs are going to sing the national pledge every week. So the first sitting of the week, they are going to sing it. Yesterday they did. Next week, Tuesday, they will. If they have to sit on a Monday, they will sing that also. And then at the end of the week also, they will also sing that. And then there will be roll call. We know the matters of absenteeism that have been going on in Parliament for a long time. The Speaker of Parliament says Parliament must send out a signal to the people that they are really keen on doing their business in the House. And that would mean every morning there will be a roll call. MPs would have to get up in their seat and be counted. And so if your constituents are watching and they realize that you don't always come to the chamber very early, then you have some issues to deal with in the constituency. So Aisha, that's a rundown of the significant changes that have been made. It's a total overhaul. If you look at the standing orders of the House, almost everything has been changed. The arrangements and everything have been changed. It will take some time. And now someone made a joke on the House that depending on whether you've been in the House for 20 years or even a first timer, you all get to start on a clean slate now, Aisha.
Let's bring in Sami Obing, who's been doing a lot of work on parliamentary work. Sami, what do these changes mean to the work of Parliament?
Well, many of them would transform quite greatly the work that Parliament needs to do. Remember that the standing orders which were revised to have these new ones have been in place since the year 2000. And so for 23 years, Parliament has been practicing in a particular way. So many things have changed over the almost 2,000 years period, including, of course, having the experience of an aged Parliament which is hanged. And so they needed to incorporate all of these changes, all of these new learnings, global best practices into the scheme of things. And to be able to do that, you needed to find expression in the standing orders. And so I am particularly excited about the fact that sittings of committees will be open to the public just like plenary, unless for some specific reason the leadership of that particular committee decides to keep it closed, just like sometimes it is in the case of plenary. I'm excited about the fact that committees have been realigned, new committees have been introduced, a number of members on the committees are relatively smaller so that members of Parliament can serve specifically in areas of their core competencies and strengths. I am particularly excited about the fact that we would have a situation where committees will all not be chaired, almost all committees will not be chaired by the party that is in government, and that some very significant committees will be chaired by members who are not whose party is not in government, and we'll be seeing the positive effects like we are seeing in the Public Accounts Committee and co, which are not chaired by members of the ruling party. And so these and many others, has potential to, make our Parliament relatively better, more accountable, transparent, and citizens inclusive in the way that it works, which goes to the tenets of open Parliament, which is one of the very important global conversations that are being had around parliament-related matters. How well Parliament implements these to be able to glean all of the benefits of same is left to be seen.
For someone who is not privy to the work of Parliament, the question will then be, what mischief will it cure, or how will these changes impact positively on the work of Parliament?
So let's use an example of the committees being open to the citizens. Sometimes when Parliament is sitting at plenary, people will say they are committees. And sometimes even at a committee, there's a heated issue. You interview the NDC MP on the same committee and he will say X. You interview the MPP MP on that same committee and he will say Y. Sometimes even the leadership ranking member is saying something different. Committee chair is saying something different. That is going to change because we will know what's going on in that particular committee. The media will be there. I'm sure Parliament will have multiple channels via their social media and other platforms to be able to stream these things. So we as citizens who send members there will be able to know exactly the work they are doing for and on our behalf. We will know members of Parliament who are putting a lot of work into plenary work and committee work, and those who are just lazying about so far as the parliamentary work is concerned. This could be one of the areas in which we can have a very positive game change. So it could serve as one of the areas where an error or mischief can be rectified. The other one is a bit about, let's take the appointment committee or how ministers and other nominees are vetted. In the past, you expect that particular appointment committee has members who understand from archaeology to zoology, and so they are vetting a sports minister today, and tomorrow they are vetting a Supreme Court judge, and so they are supposed to know about the laws and what have you. But now we are having people who are supposed to be subject matter experts, being those that are seated to be able to vet the particular nominee who is going into that subject area. And I think that should bring more robust conversation around how that particular sector can be transformed.
Being as Executive Director of Parliamentary Network Africa, grateful for your time. Kwekwa Sante also gave us a list of the changes. Going forward, we'll be monitoring how this impacts on the work of Parliament. Trust JoyNews. We'll be bringing you all of that. Let's go back to Bawku, where the Ghana Water Company is threatening to cut water supply to some parts of the area due to the volatile situation there. I've been joined by the Communications Director, Stanley Mate, who speaks for the group. Mr. Mate, we're hearing that there's a meeting to resolve this situation. In fact, we heard from our correspondent who said there's some calm that has returned to the area. Are you still standing by your decision to cut water supply to those areas?
Okay, thank you very much, Aisha, for the opportunity. Let me correct this. It isn't like Ghana Water Company Limited has threatened. It isn't like management has threatened or management has withdrawn the services, our services from the people.
We haven't said that.
No, that is the impression that I got from the initial submission from your correspondent.
So it's actually a threat for now?
No, it's not a threat. What I'm saying is that the workers have vacated the area, okay? And they are now in Gaza. They are saying to management that we are ready to work, but under these conditions, we can't work. Since November 2021, our workers have been under this of sporadic shooting and every time killings around them and all that. We keep impressing on them and talking to them to just stay put and all that. But it's gotten to a point where they can't be risking their lives. I mean, their families are complaining and all that. But they just imagine your husband is somewhere working and you don't know whether the day will end with him alive. You understand? So they have moved to Bawku. Sorry, they moved to Bolga. And I'm saying that they should transfer to other areas to go and work. But under these conditions, they cannot. Okay, what can management do? Again, as I speak, the Regional Security Council and then the District Security Council have spoken with us, have spoken with the staff, have spoken with management, and we have resolved, we have had a resolution to go back to work. Okay, but there are still certain conditions. Now, one of the conditions is for them to be to have 24/7 security. Then they can work. Okay, without that, then they can't work. The Regional Security Council has agreed to do that, and so this morning they are being transported under security guards to Bawku so that they can start operation. So it's a result, but we hope that. Everything, all the requests that have been made by the staff will be adhered to by the regional and the municipal security council, and then they can be safe to work. So that is the situation. It has been resolved this morning. Production of water will resume and in the area, and we hope that things will move on very well.
So as we speak, the workers have returned to work.
They are currently being transported under security guards to Bawku. So we should start production anytime they get to Bawku. And because equipment have been shut down for a few days, they need to do some servicing and all that before they start treatment. So we are hoping that by midday everything should be okay, and they should start production.
Stanley Mate, I'm grateful for your time. He's communications manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited. Now, the Ghana Journalists Association has called on the Ghana Police Service to arrest Member of Parliament for Yendi Farouk Aliu Mahama following an assault on City News' Northern Regional Correspondent Mohammed Alabira. An alleged assault, actually. Mr. Alabira was attacked while covering the chaos that disrupted the NPP's parliamentary primary in the Yendi constituency. Addressing a news conference, GJA President Albert Kwabena Jumfo expressed disappointment that no action has yet been taken. He wants the police to act swiftly.
After a week of this disturbing gangsterism, no arrest has been made when the regional police commander also tasted the ruthless actions of the thugs. I'm surprised. Colleagues, where have we reached as a country? For a journalist to be attacked, a senior police officer and EC officials to be taken hostage in a bus after the chaos for hours, only for the military to come in to their rescue. Until date, no arrest has been made. We call on Dampare and his team to explain this to us. Where have we gotten to as a country? Where have we gotten to? This should tell us that if care is not taken, this year's election will be bloody, and the media stands to suffer. We have come to the conclusion that the Ghana Police Service has failed to live up to our expectations when it comes to issues relating to the media. Are they not supposed to protect us? If our safety is at stake, how do we defend our constitutional mandate and contribute to the development of this country? We keenly observe the swiftness with which the police arrest journalists at the instance of politicians and public officers, and yet only get the perpetrators of attacks on journalists arrested and charged. We are giving the MPP, regional and national, and the Dampare-led Ghana Police Service 10 days ultimatum, each to hear from them. They should arrest the perpetrators. If they fail, we shall advise ourselves accordingly.
Well, as we get into elections, it's unfortunate that more of this will happen. But how do we avert these attacks on journalists? I've been joined by the immediate past president of the GJA, Afel Money. Grateful for your time, sir. Not long ago, there were allegations of alleged attacks on journalists by thugs who work for Mavis Hawakumsen, who is minister. Now we're hearing of this attack by the Yendi MP, alleged. You must be worried about this situation. Hello, Mr. Afelmoni. Hello, Mr. Afelmoni. Right, so we'll try and get Afelmoni to join us for this conversation. He's the immediate past president of the GJA. The conversation has been, how we can protect journalists from being attacked by politicians, especially as the campaigns get heated. Of course, there's a history of the situation getting worse during this period. And the reason we need to find solutions. Not long ago, we heard that thugs who work for Hawakumsen allegedly assaulted a journalist. Now we're hearing that the MP for Yendi also allegedly has assaulted a CTFM journalist. The GJA says the police has failed us. They've not worked up to our expectation. And Afel Money has now joined us on phone. Afel Money, I'm talking about the story we heard not long ago about the alleged attack on journalists by thugs who work for Hawakumsen. Now we're hearing about the Yendi MP who has allegedly attacked the CTFM journalist. You must be worried about this situation.
Certainly, yes, I'm deeply worried because I still belong to the media community, and the media community have a collective stand, and this stand is predicated on the principle that an attack against one journalist is an attack against all journalists, and an attack against all journalists is an attack against our democracy. An attack against our democracy is an attack against the very soul of this nation. So as we speak, the soul of this nation is bleeding profusely from the two attacks and other attacks which preceded the Hawakumsen and Farouk Bahamas alleged attack. We commend most profusely the leadership of the DJ, GIBA, and Media Foundation for West Africa for acting swiftly and strongly against such attacks, and it calls for collective action on the part of all journalists to deal surgically with such issues. This is an issue of cathedral proportions, an issue which I've said and invest in people, an issue which affects our democracy. Ghana is a reference point and a standard measure when it comes to democracy and media freedom. But we've observed that on the rankings by reporters without freedom, reporters without borders, we've been experiencing a precipitous decline as a result of such attacks. The perpetrators of the assassination against Ame have not been arrested. We were promised by the IGP that a special unit had been created to go into this issue. As we speak, nothing has come out. It gives us hope that at least the attacks against journalists will abate. But what we witness now is rather a crescendo of such attacks, and this is not a good augury for our democracy at all. And you made reference to the December election. We know that our job is not cash rich, but risk prone. But we don't deserve such attacks by people who ought to know better. So we are calling on the authorities, reinforcing the call by the DJ, Media Coordinator, and PREPA for the authorities to take it up with all the seriousness it deserves. This is an issue which will have an impact on the image of this country. And as you said, image is everything. So there's a blackest blemish on our image as a democracy and a free media state. So we are urging the IGP, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Minister of Information, the government, the Secretary, the President, who is addicted to human rights, fighting human rights. They should all come together to help address this issue and punish the perpetrators of attacks against journalists. This is a minimalist request we are making to these authorities.
Unfortunately, in an election year, the situation is only expected to aggravate. I'm not spelling doom, but I'm saying that because that has been the narrative over the period. How do we break this chain?
That's the more reason why we need to engage all the institutions which have stakes in the media. The government, the Minister of Information, the military, the police, civil society. We should all come together. Join forces, and deal with this issue. We expect the IGP, we expect the CDS, we expect the Minister of Information, we expect the President to summon a meeting to look at this issue with all the seriousness deserved. Because as we are not yet at the peak of the campaign period, not at all. And one doesn't need a Sherlock to predict that tensions will rise as characterized by elections. Our elections are characterized by high voting tension and red hot anger and obstinate determination by the two parties to win at all costs. But all this can crystallize into violence against journalists. So this is just as a wake-up call. It's not enough condemning the two attacks. This is the time for authorities to rise up, shape up in response to the dangers ahead.
Grateful for your time. Afel Moni is immediate past president of the Ghana Journalists Association. There's an uneasy calm at Agogo in the Asante Achim North District of the Ashanti region following the forceful closure of Salt FM. A team from the National Communications Authority visited the station on Tuesday to ostensibly shut down the station over the non-renewal of its authorization license. The officers besieged the premises of the radio station, demanding a total shutdown. This infuriated some residents of Agogo who staged a demonstration to resist the closure. Love FM Sanabuache Yadom joins us via Zoom with more on this development. Nanaya Obwachi, what's the latest with regards to the situation? We're live on JoyNews desk. We'll be back with more. Welcome back to JoyNews desk. We're going back to our earlier story where a radio station has been shut down in Agogo. Nanaya Obwachi joins us via Zoom with more. Nanaya, what's the latest on this situation?
Well, Aisha, after the popular radio station, Salt of India Sanitation North constituency was shut down yesterday, well, operations have halted today as management and the National Communications Authority hold a meeting as to what transpired or what led to the shutting down of the popular radio station yesterday. For now, the latest is that Salt FM is not operating anymore. Everything has been shut down, and the operation, as we know right now, is via online and Facebook stream. The issue as to what led to the shutting down of Salt FM yesterday around 2 p.m. has not been clearly stated by management. But then for the National Communications Authority and the security agency who went to the Sanitation Agogo constituency yesterday to shut down the radio station, it is, as a matter of fact, because they have not renewed their authentication. Well, clarity has not been made as to what really led to the shutting down of this particular radio station, because management would have to come out with further details to clarify what led to the shutting down of this radio station. But then the latest right now is that Salt FM is not operating on air. They have moved their work to online and also Facebook.
And now, Obwachi, done with that report. But of course, is there an easy calm in the area because we're told there was a clash?
Well, yesterday, some listeners of Salt FM besieged the premises of the popular radio station to demand answers from the security personnel who went to shut down the radio station. Because they had no clarity as to what really led to the shutting down of the radio station, they needed answers from the security personnel and the National Communications Authority. That's why we had a number of them clad in red walking through the principal streets of Agogo to demand answers from the security personnel and also the National Communications Authority. And so there is one easy calm in the area, because when you go to Sanitation Agogo, this is a very popular radio station in the community. And so going there to disconnect their machines and also shutting it down totally would really raise some concerns, and also would make the residents who listen to this radio station very, very much worried. Hence, the reason why many of them thronged the premises of the radio station to demand answers, while they await management of the popular radio station to also come out with a statement to also defend themselves or to respond to what is out there by the NCA.
Nana Obwachi, I'm grateful for the updates. We're still live on JoyNews. That's when we return. There's business.
And welcome to the business segment on JoyNews desk with me, Pius Kojobaka. As part of measures to boost tourism within the sub-region, Kenyan ambassador to Ghana, Eliphaz Bryan, is calling on member countries to expand investment within the sector. Mr. Bryan said African countries must diversify their economies to rake in more revenue domestically. He spoke to Joy Business at an event organized by the Kenya Tourism Board to expand its market to West Africa.
Kenya is targeting to raise tourist arrivals from West Africa by pitching for business and leisure travel that are key interest to the region. The Kenya Tourism Board says that the West African market is integral in the strategy to diversify tourist source markets and broaden the country's destination portfolio. Ambassador Eliphaz Bryan says it is key for more countries to collaborate.
That tourism plays a very, very, very critical role in our economic development. It makes a huge contribution in our own economy. Is the second highest in GDP and also foreign exchange earner. And therefore, we have a lot of people that are reaching out, traveling, and spending money. So we need to find ways to attract more people to come. And the only way to do that, first of all, is begin to diversify our products. Second, in my mind, is we need to improve on the product that we have. Thirdly, it is the customer experience, so that when we are providing this service, it is up to global standards. There are no African standards, there are no other standards. Standards are standards. And all of us need to embrace that in order to create that experience, we have to up our game, improve on our skills, so that when a visitor comes, a tourist visit, there is value for money.
The road shows to West Africa come as KTB intensifies marketing efforts across the continent, which is emerging as an important source market for Kenya's tourism.
The school farm competition will help schools feed their students without having to rely solely on the government. That's according to Executive Director of Cosmos Innovation Center, Benjamin Jankesi. Speaking at a memorandum of understanding with Blue Skies Foundation, he indicated that the competition, which seeks to build interests of young people in agriculture, among other things, hopes to make schools self-reliant in feeding themselves.
School farm competition, which was initiated by Blue Skies Foundation, is an agricultural school challenge project that aims to increase the desire of young people in both junior and senior high schools through learning experiences by providing the schools with inputs like seed and basic farm tools to cultivate their own crops on designated school farms. It is also aimed at encouraging students to consider agriculture as an income-generating venture in their life journey, whilst improving Ghana's food security. A memorandum of understanding was signed to transition the governance and management from Blue Skies Foundation to Cosmos Innovation Center. Benjamin Jankesi is Executive Director of KIC.
Contributing to feeding themselves is what we're maybe within the first couple of years we're going to aim at. But what we have been inspired lately by other programs being run elsewhere is that to the extent that some of the schools can leverage on that to pay within the school farm context, some schools have used the revenues that they've made to pay for exams fee for students. Imagine if these schools have more money and revenues from their produce than they got to pay for the school the exams fees, and they're able to provide even scholarships for students. Imagine that they are able to use that to renovate broken classroom blocks or furniture, or build infirmary, buy first aid, buy computers to really resource their IT centers. Those are the things that we're looking at deepening and also expanding to a broader community.
On his part, Alistair Jimate, head of Blue Skies Foundation and Corporate Affairs Manager for Blue Skies Company Limited, affirmed that Blue Skies will maintain an advisory role in the competition.
We resurrected an old idea of the school farm concept, just to encourage young people to see opportunities along the value chain within the agricultural value chain. We are happy today that we are handing over this baton or torch to KIC because we have so much trust in their capacity to manage and expand this project for the benefit of majority of our young people across the length and breadth of this country. So we are also excited about this engagement, and just like Ben said, we'll be standing by with our expertise and ideas anytime, any day, to support. We would want to encourage the schools that have participated over the years, as well as new schools, that we are continuing our partnership with the GES as far as this program is concerned. And now we should give KIC all the support to make this project a success, so that we'll be able to create the next batch of future farmers or agripreneurs in this country.
Some past winners of the School Farm Awards include Adoye DAJHS, Ghana Senior High School Tamale, Kwewu Tafo Senior High School, Peki Senior High Technical School, and Ecole Ronsard, among others.
That's it for business. I am Pius Kojo Baka.
Back to JoyNews. Next to the rest of our stories, residents and authorities in the Anga district of the Volta region are grappling with a severe sanitation crisis that has raised serious health concerns, particularly at the Anga fish market and riverside. The situation is left unaddressed. If left unaddressed, could lead to significant health hazards for the local population. Ivy Soteji has more.
The Anga fish market, a vital hub for fish trade and a source of livelihood for many, is currently plagued by inadequate waste management and poor sanitation practices. Accumulated waste, including plastic debris, discarded fish parts, and general refuse, has created an unsanitary environment, posing a threat to vendors and customers. Residents have expressed their concern over the potential health hazards arising from the current state of the market.
There are so many Zoom Lion bola containers along the territory that they normally convey the bolas to. But today, as we are speaking now, along this territory, or they have to convey the bola from their various ends to the lagoon side, just because they want to fill the place in a way. That's resulting to all these kind of things.
The person no has no yebre yes no so oma bia no atwi they say they come so you crown no na go so chiri people it's a person no blind na ma kakra yes no na so ayapoto the person omo ye ha boma na so na akuma to me ye kakra
e kukudam na disi ado assemblyman bonu jagba wona na chuni yang nami alaba mi afa tokona nyakpo eye o jaba manofo na rofike undung drama lene
afia ha gaje toilet na adua na zando toilet an tola shama wo uloke no loke na mafika mu na yiza ngodola asdo ta mi kukudam na jiru ba no permyanchi o habonami.
The lack of proper waste disposal mechanisms has not only marred the aesthetics of the area but also created breeding grounds for pests and disease vectors. The risks of contamination of fish and other seafood sold at the market is a pressing issue with potential consequences for consumers' health. Furthermore, the riverside in the Anga market, just by the main market, a vital water source for the community, is also grappling with sanitation challenges. Improper disposal of waste into the river has not only led to the water pollution but has also compromised the quality of water available for daily use, including cooking and drinking. This raises concerns about waterborne diseases and other health-related issues among the local population. Residents are urging the government and relevant authorities to intervene urgently to address the sanitation crisis. In response to the growing concerns, the Anga District Coordinating Director, Emmanuel Jakpasu, said the Assembly has initiated discussions on implementing a comprehensive waste management plan for the Anga districts.
With respect to the landing beach, yes, because we asked them that they will be paying something small for the one that will engage to be cleaning the place and then the security man. But we are still engaging them for understanding common ground to come so that they will be using the place. With respect to the refuse, you know, it was there once and we cleared it and asked them not to dump refuse there, but the houses around, the occupants of houses around have been doing it. So I will task the environmental health unit for us to clear it again and then station an officer there. Maybe when we prosecute some 2 or 3 people to stop dumping refuse there.
Ivy Satoji, JoyNews, Anga, Toko.
Back in Accra in the studio, my name is Aisha Ibrahim, and that's how we wrap up the bulletin this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Once again, see you again at 12.